what happened round 13 of the FIM Motocross World Championship, the Monster Energy MXGP of Flanders in Lommel. MX2 race 1, despite riders coming in from the outside, it was Jago Geerts who emerged across the Fox Holeshot line first for the 7th time this season. Kai de Wolf upside down though in turn 2. He started the day tied on points, 2nd overall with the race leader number 93. Championship leader Adamo was 3rd, tucking in behind the 96 of Lucas Koenen. Then he got himself into, he got himself down into 4th place as Langenfelder went by. Hard charging Andrea Bonacorsi got himself past the number 44 of Rick Elsinger as he moved into 7th place. But Liam Everts, who made a poor start, was on the charge as he found his way in towards the top 5 area. Kai de Wolf, big problem for him, had an incident during the week, and that also forced him to pull out of the race. He would not line up for race 2. Everts on the charge, got himself into 5th as he went by Bonacorsi. Kevin Horgmo was down in 7th though, but this was also one of the moves that Liam Everts put on during the race to eventually get to that 5th place. Fantastic ride it was as well for the Belgian. Oriol Oliver, good starts for him, but he eventually faded back to 8th place as Bonacorsi came through later on in the race. Horgmo could not keep Bonacorsi at bay as he charged through to 6th. Horgmo came home in 7th. But it was Jago Geerts victorious for the 10th time from Lucas Koenen, Simon Langenfelder, Adamo and Everts. After the first MX2 race, Adamo had a 30-point advantage over Jago Geerts. Race 2, and it was Hakan Osterhagen over on the outside who grabbed the Fox Holeshot riding as a wildcard this weekend, but it was Geerts again who emerged at the head of the field by turn 2. Adamo, better place this time in 2nd. Langenfelder 3rd. Ferruccio Zanchi was 4th. But for Adamo, as he was in that 2nd position chasing Jago Geerts, he just started to have an issue here or there as Lucas Koenen was on the charge through. Adamo then, over the bars, picked himself up in 20th place. Lucas Koenen then got the better of the 22 to move up into 5th place. That was David Braceras as Liam Everts carved his way past Ferruccio Zanchi to move into 3rd, but Lucas Koenen, who didn't have a great start, pushed the number 72 aside as he took over 3rd. Adamo then fell, having gotten back to 12th. He was down again outside of the top 20, and eventually would come home in 13th place. Langenfelder fell whilst in 2nd. He picked himself up, was under attack then from Lucas Koenen. Koenen eventually moved by into 2nd on lap 10, but couldn't do anything about Geerts, who had now got about a 12-second advantage. After making 1 or 2 mistakes, Kevin Horgmo eventually got by his teammate to take over 6th with about 3 laps to go. And on the final lap, Jago Geerts lapped the championship leader, Andrea Adamo. And it was Geerts who came home for the perfect weekend. He won the qualifying race, won both races to win the Monster Energy MXGP of Flanders. Koenen was 2nd, Langenfelder 3rd. That's how it finished in the race, and that is how it finished in the Grand Prix. Geerts, Koenen and Langenfelder. Everts and Horgmo ran it out the top 5. But the championship now looks like this. Adamo has seen his lead shrink to 13 points over Geerts. It was 40 between those two when they were 1st and 3rd coming into the weekend. De Wolf did not line up for race 2. Geerts is now 4th. Thibaut Beneston is in 5th. The red plate still belongs to Adamo though. Next stop, Finland.
Yeah, really happy about the weekend. I cannot be happier with the 60 points in front of the home fans. So really was a nice weekend. The track was really tough, but I enjoyed every second out there. And yeah, it was for the championship. It's also looking good, so I will try to continue like this for the next races, and then we will see how it goes in a few races.
MXGP race 1. Over on the far side, a nice tight line for Sira. He emerged with his 9th Fox Holeshot of the season, but it was Harry Koulas who emerged 2nd briefly. Romain Febvre in around about 4th as he snuck up the inside of Prado, who emerged in around 6th place. But it was Siwa from Koldenhoff, Kulas, Febvre, who quickly got into 3rd though, heading into the next left-hander at the end of the straight. Tim Geiser, who was in 5th, he fell on the opening lap coming out of turn 5, burnt his hand on the exhaust pipe. That stung. He eventually came back into 15th place, but the man on the move was the number 3, Romain Febvre. He split the 2 Yamahas as he moved into 2nd, and then Koldenhoff made a mistake, ran wide. Febvre took over the lead on lap 4. Ruben Fernandez under attack from Jeremy Van Hoorbeek in his 19th home Grand Prix and 254th Grand Prix start. Van Hoorbeek eventually come home in 7th place. Siwa up the inside of Flanders. That put him up into 4th place. And then he fell, and he would eventually come home in 5th. Alberto Ferrato put in a late charge, found his way past Van Hoorbeek to take over 6th with about a half distance to go. Fernandez also found his way through on the Belgian, but he was unlucky as well because he came out of the next right-hander, had a bit of a slam. Fernandez, Team HRC, eventually came home in 11th position. Prado on the final lap got the better of Flanders to move into 3rd with a handful of corners to go, but it was Romain Febvre who crossed the line to win race 1 for the 5th time this year from Koldenhoff, Prado, Flanders and Siwa. Heading into MXGP race 2, Romain Febvre managed to get the lead down to 96 points between him and Prado in the championship. But it was Ruben Fernandez who grabbed the foxhole shot for the first time this year. But once again, Siwa held a tight line, emerged first. Romain Febvre right at the back, going through the first turn in 25th place. Fernandez was 2nd, Prado 3rd. Kulas fast starting getting 4th, but before the end of the lap, Prado down the inside of Siwa took over the lead. Fernandez was in 3rd, Koldenhoff 4th, Flanders in 5th, Kulas was in 6th. But as the race went on, the pace picked up, and it was Romain Febvre who was charging through. Eventually got by Ruben Fernandez. That put him up into 4th. He then went after Koldenhoff as Calvin Flanders got the better of the Spaniard as well. That put him into 5th position. Febvre split the 2 Yamahas again. That move on Koldenhoff got him up into 3rd place. Flanders fell, but he had eventually come home in 5th position. 6 or 7 laps from the end. A mistake allowed Febvre to capitalise, to move into 2nd, past Siwa, and it was his teammate who pushed him back to 3rd or 4th with 3 laps to go. Koldenhoff now up into 3rd place. Rounding out the final turn, Jorge Prado with his 10th race win of the year. Febvre just ran out of steam but hung on for 2nd. Koldenhoff 3rd, Siwa 4th, Flanders in 5th. But that 2nd place in race 2 was enough to give Romain Febvre the overall victory, his 4th in a row. The 2nd time he's done that in his career. So Romain Febvre wins the Grand Prix then with a 1-2. Prado 2nd with a 3-1. Koldenhoff a 2-3. Siwa and Flanders just missing out. Prado now leads the championship by 99 points, so that win was crucial for him because it went from 96 to 99. No wonder he was all smiles on the podium. Febvre 2nd, Siwa, Fernandez and Koldenhoff ran out the top 5. Koldenhoff just 1 point behind Fernandez.
I had a really bad start. I was like 25, I think, and just worked my way through. It was a long moto, and yeah, I never think that it would be possible to win because I was really far. But I worked some magic. Yeah, I was the fastest man today, yesterday also, and I'm on the good way. Like everything is going well at the moment, so I keep that way, and 4 in a row. So yeah, what else to say?